More than a decade ago, NASA partnered with GDIT to create the NASA Shared Services Center with a mission of improving back-office operations. NSSC uses artificial intelligence and robotic process automation to deliver support services to NASA centers all over the country. Let's learn more about that now. Steve Bishop is Senior Program Director at GDIT, and Tony Lisotta is their Program Manager at the NASA Shared Services Center. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for coming on. Steve, I'll start with you. Tell me about the work that you're doing to help NASA with the IT modernization issues that we just talked about.
Thanks, Francis, for having us. GDIT's been working with NASA for quite some time, helping them understand and apply some of our experience with our technology integrations. We've partnered with NASA to leverage their existing investments to optimize their services that support their important mission. Those services allow us to build a foundation to build out the strategy that they need and a roadmap for the technologies that will take them well into the future. Our infrastructure, just to maximize that support and to optimize, we're allowing several technologists to come in and reach back from our corporate offices to leverage their skills and their knowledge to bring to bear on the challenges that face NASA as well as many government agencies.
Tony, a moment ago we talked to Jeff and Brad in the IT leadership at NASA about the changes that they're undertaking. How are you helping them manage that change to help their people understand what's coming and what it will mean for the way that they deliver mission? The non-IT people especially understand the changes that are happening and helping the IT team lead those folks through that.
Change management is an interesting challenge that the organization has. So I actually am supporting the National Shared Services Center, and that program started back in 2005, and it was a new program, and its whole purpose in life was to help NASA consolidate its back office services, primarily finance, HR, procurement, and a little bit of IT. And it was a massive change for the way NASA kind of did its back office business. So going through that work and that process and that change, it's been an interesting process. And one thing I noticed in a prior GovMatters session, there was a discussion about change management and the notion of organizational change. The individual was talking about focusing it on organizational empathy. And I thought that was a very interesting topic because through the life of the NSSC, that's been a huge challenge that we've had. And as we're looking forward to these newer IT changes, I was trying to figure out how would I relate the two. And what in my mind, for an IT change, it's really more about the end user, right? And I kind of look at it as paying attention to the end user empathy. Any kind of change in IT is going to affect somebody. Whether it's just a simple change or a major change. And being able to understand what that will do to the end user is going to be critical to the success of change.
Tony, how are you going about helping the rest of NASA through the Shared Services Center implement innovative technologies that maybe people didn't even think about 2 years ago or 5 years ago, automation, RPA, those kinds of things, artificial intelligence and so on? How does that look? How do those things look as a shared service? Is it just a matter of making the buying vehicles available to people who want to use those things, or is there more to it than that?
We very much partner with NASA to look for ways that we can do things better and optimize our operations environment. A couple of years ago, NASA, we were looking at ways of doing things very differently to how do we raise the level, right? How do you increase the value that the NSSC is bringing to NASA? And a key way of doing that is figuring out how do you bring in innovation? And for me, how do I maximize the use of my resources? And at the time, the concept of robotics process automation was a topic that was of a very interest to us. And NASA was able to put forth a proposal and get a little bit of a starting capital to kind of help this project get started. And it's been now a couple of years, and this project has gone on pretty successfully since its inception. So GDIT has now stood up an organization that is supporting the innovation and continuous improvement activities, of which RPA is part of it. And the concept of moving or integrating a digital worker into the workspace was a very, very challenging situation to face. It took a little while for our employees to understand what that means, and for them to understand that this isn't going to be the end of their jobs. The whole purpose here is to elevate their jobs so that they can do more things. One of the key things that we have been successful doing using RPA is, as the NSSC has grown, bringing on new services, we've been able to take on these new services without having to hire additional staff, because we've been successful at deploying specific bots to really maximize the use of our workforce and allow our more senior people to focus on the mission.
Steve, we just have a couple of minutes left. Tell me what you're doing to help the cybersecurity efforts that the previous guests talk about, especially Zero Trust, because my takeaway from that conversation was they're really betting the ranch on Zero Trust as a way to secure the enterprise moving forward.
Cybersecurity is at the core of all of the services that GDIT provides. Zero Trust is one of those areas where we have gone quite a distance in maturing a solution for our customers across our portfolio. The importance of that is basically this: don't trust anything or anyone to access your network until they have the proper credentials, the proper access, and the proper authority to do so. By doing that, you're able to control the data and the services that are supporting the NASA mission, and in lieu of just letting everyone access things and then trying to, once the horse is out of the barn, so to speak, control them, you're able to do that before they gain access. And with that, you're able to understand and control those threats inside each one of those boundaries, the data boundaries and the mission systems boundaries. It's important for customers to understand and know their data and understand and know what the threats are around their data. And Zero Trust gives us a control that allows us to help them do that.